So how do we get from here to there to that sort of more equal playing field? Is it the industry that's going to do it? Is the government going to do it? Will GDPR impact the way things develop? What's the roadmap and what's going to affect it?
I think it's going to be a combination of all those stakeholders coming together. You see sort of different stakeholders arguing for different things, and GDPR, from a privacy advocate's perspective, many of them see that as the golden ring, that they've achieved something truly immensely successful for the end user in terms of giving him or her control over how their information is used, collected, et cetera. The challenge is that it's not outcomes-based, it's process-based. And we fully support, I think, definitely as a company, the intent of GDPR, and we'll work very hard to work cooperatively and collaboratively with regulators over there to make sure that we're applying both the letter and the intent of the law. But I think that as we move forward, we want to make sure that the implementation of that rule, or any new law in the United States, balances and takes into account the idea that the modern ad-supported internet is the single greatest engine for both civic and economic growth that this world has ever seen, right? And one of the things that we want to ensure is that we don't create a bifurcated internet experience or replicate the cable model on the internet where people get, like in broadcasting, you get 3 broadcast channels. If you have some money, you get basic cable. If you have a little bit more money, you get basic plus premium. You don't want the internet to become a place where some people get some free services. If you have a little bit more money, you get free services plus some subscription services. And if you have a lot of money, you get free services plus subscription services plus the most premium services that are available. The internet has been a force for egalitarian development, and we want to retain the aspect of that, the ability of people whose only means for participation in the market, or whose strongest means for participation in the market, is who they are and what they know, to do so in a way that's safe and secure and respectful of them and their information. So I think it's an interesting maturation process. A whole lot of technology was developed under a much looser system of restrictions. And I think that much of what has happened in technology was not malintentioned. It was just done because of a love for innovation and creation without having given full consideration to privacy by design or the long-term effects or any unintended consequences of how sort of unsupervised or fully open systems are rolled out. I think people in the United States in particular certainly demand privacy from their government. We have a constitutional right to privacy in our persons and property. On the commercial side, what they expect is to not be, they definitely expect to not be harmed or lied to, at a minimum. They want to be told what their information is going to be used for, and then have limits placed on what it's used for in whatever the word is of the company that's telling you how they're going to use it, right? So the Facebook Cambridge Analytica example, for example, the people whose information was collected they were told it was being done for academic research. The fact that that was not true, and then it was weaponized against them to fundamentally make democracy a difficult exercise, is a huge problem, right? And the Congress is reacting to it, trying to understand it and see what we can do around that issue. And it does come back to the individual having a much greater knowledge of who and how they are being presented to the world, and who is trying to reach them with what kind of message. So the critical, yes, people care deeply about their privacy. They particularly care deeply about their privacy if a violation of that privacy is going to lead to harm. But even in a situation in which violation of privacy does not lead to harm, there are basic rules of human dignity and respect that most people expect to be a part of norms, either norms or rules or law in our system. And I think that's perfectly fair. We're having both a national and international dialogue about what that means. And with thoughtful discussion, we can get to a place where people do feel like, not just feel like, but are in much greater control of their digital identity.